Following a crackdown that resulted in the deaths of hundreds of student demonstrators in Beijing, a lone Chinese protester steps in front of the People's Liberation Army tanks in Tiananmen Square in 1989. At least 5 photographers captured the event, which became a symbol of defiance in the face of oppression. Charlie Cole, working for Newsweek, won a World Press Photo Award for his version of the image. The identity and fate of the tank man remains unclear. Joe Rosenthal's 1945 photograph of US troops raising a flag in Iwo Jima during World War II remains one of the most widely reproduced images. It earned him the Pulitzer Prize, but he also faced suspicions that he staged the patriotic scene. While it was reported to be genuine, it was the second flag raising of the day atop Mount Suribachi. The first flag, raised hours earlier, was deemed too small to be seen from the base of the mountain. A hooded detainee in US custody during the Iraq War stands on a box with electrical wires hooked up to his fingers. The image became a symbol of the Abu Ghraib prison abuse scandal after it was released, among others, in late April of 2004. It did what a written report could not do, showing front and center what human rights groups had been saying for months, that prisoners were being abused at the hands of US troops. The fallout was immediate, both overseas and at home. President Barack Obama and members of his national security team monitored the Navy SEALs raid that killed Osama Bin Laden in 2011. It was a crucial moment in American history, and White House photographer Pete Souza captured the tension in the room. A counterterrorism advisor describes, "It was probably one of the most anxiety-filled periods of time, I think, in the lives of the people who were assembled." In 1937, Sam Sear photographed the Hindenburg Disaster while on assignment in New Jersey. The crash killed 36 people and ended the era of passenger-carrying airships, which were once hailed as the future of flight. The photographer describes, "I had 2 shots in my camera, but I didn't even have time to get it up to my eye. I took the photo from my hip." Hiram Bingham and a team of explorers were looking for Bilka Bamba, the last Incan stronghold. A local farmer told him and his team there were some ruins atop of a hill. After hiking for 6 days, carrying photographic and excavation equipment, they landed in Aguas Calientes. Here, they found a guide that took him up the hill. The vegetation had almost reclaimed the stone terraces and buildings, but a city had once stood in this remote and rugged precipice. Instead of arriving to what they believed was their initial destination, the team instead arrived to Machu Picchu. This was the first photograph. Therese Fair took this picture in 1990. You might think it is older, judging by the monochrome film used over the color. The purpose was to cement the idea of the family's relationship, not get lost in the conflicting colors. The photographer was a student at the time. It isn't often that a professional photographer, let alone a student, can be seen in such an intimate situation. You can feel the idea of the family in this image, the father holding on to his son's head, the mother comforting the little girl. The protagonist, David Kirby, was an AIDS activist in the 80s. Here, he lies on his deathbed in 1990. Kirby tried to change that. He died not long after the image was captured.